Do you have any examples that, that come to mind about, when maybe an opportunity was something that didn't seem like a solution at first ends up being, maybe it's the byproduct of constraint, or something that didn't seem like a good solution right out of the gate turns out to be the answer to the problem?
Well, I do. When we talked about our logo.
Yeah.
I mean, our logo was one of those examples.
That's what came to mind with me too.
Yeah. I mean, I talked about that with them in another episode, but I think the logo itself, that's a great example of like all this time went by and the creative process went through, and I'll even, like I said, I'll even say, I was like, okay, we're set. We're good. Let's go forward. And then it was like, oh, but if we look at it this way with this older logo that's been sitting there on the contact sheet in the file,
cutting room floor.
Yeah, it's been on a file full of like, 100 other logos. All of a sudden it's like, oh, if we revisit that, then this completely taps into everything we've been trying to talk about message-wise and everything else. Like, oh my God, it's been there the whole time. So that's a great example of like that working out. I do think you can have some analysis paralysis about this. You can second guess yourself to death, but once it's analyzing like, okay, it's just like I said with the client stuff. It was, what is our meaning? What is this supposed to say about us? What does this thing represent? How, is it clear enough and all those things? Is it checking all the boxes? Well, we had a couple of logos and then we had this one. And when we went back to it, it was like, actually, this does check all those.
Checks every box.
So in that situation, that was it was like, okay, this was worth going back and redoing, even though it was really uncomfortable to go back to everybody and go, hey, guess what? Remember the one you saw? That's not the one.
Yeah.